Guys, welcome back. So on the previous episode, we talked about creating a database using the migrations. Now we have a database that has been created. We have creating tables using migrations. We have a table, we have set of tables that have been created. Specifically, we're looking at students table. So I just took a liberty to create create some items or some records on the users or the students table. So these are actually the information that we had from the previous part. So remember, we had these students. I've just created a list of students to make it easy for us. In case you want to do that, you can always come to insert and then you add the information here. But for time's sake, for simplicity's sake, I've already created items for us. Now, how do we pull information from our database using our Laravel application? There are two ways. You can use DB queries and you can use Eloquent models. For this tutorial session or for this episode, we're going to look at Eloquent Model. So if you come to Laravel documentation, you can research about Eloquent models. You go under Eloquent ORM, getting started. So what are Eloquent models? If you want to read through and see what they are saying here, it says the Eloquent ORM included with Laravel provides a beautiful, simple active record implementation of working with your database. I think this is where we should focus on. Each database table has a corresponding model which is used to interact with the table. So it says each database table has a corresponding model which is used to interact with that table. So for example, we already have a database table called students, right? So we need a model that is able to interact with that table called, we need a model that's able to interact with the table called students. And that can be created using the PHP artisan make command. So if you say PHP artisan make model, you give the name of the model, flight, for example. In our case, it will be students. So we're going to dive straight into our platform or our Laravel code. We open our terminal and then we type PHP artisan make model students, right? And this is going to create this model directly on top of app folder. So app, you will see it will be created besides user. So if we do this, hit enter, we see that we have a new model created called students. But for structuring purposes, we're going to delete this. I just wanted you to see that we will delete this and create it inside a folder called models so that we can easily handle and manage our stuffs. So we're going to come back here, same thing, but now not just students, models / students. So when we do this, it will create a new folder called models. So we have app models students. Now, by default, when the way Laravel is configured is if you have a singular, all models are singular. So you will not have students, no S. It will not have this. This is students. This is wrong. So the model is singular. The database is plural. So convention over configuration. So the convention is you have a singular model connected to a plural database table. So you have a singular model called students and the database table called students. You can also configure it by saying protected table is equal to students. So you're saying that this model student should connect to the table called students, right? And that's basically all you need to do for the configuration. Now, we'll come down to our students. Let me take this off. Yep. So we remember we had a list of students here, right? We had a list of students here. We'll save this. Let's just be sure that it's working accordingly. We'll refresh this. Okay, it's working accordingly. And if we attempt to take, so what we want now is we don't want these students to be coming from an array. We want these students to come from the database because we've already set up our database here. Let me do it like so. Okay, so we can have it side by side. Yep, great. Reduce this a bit. Okay, great. So we want that our database, we want that this content should not come again from the database, but it should not come from the array, but it should come from the database. The next tutorial we are going to see how we pull this content from the database.